Giants are interviewing former Titans head coach and Bengals offensive coordinator Brian Callahan for the quarterback's coaching job. Can Callahan get Joe Burrow-like production from Jackson Dart? Our NFL reporter for the Post, Ryan Dunleavy, is hopping on to talk Callahan and his chances of landing the job. Ryan, thanks for hopping on, man. Brian Callahan, hadn't heard this name in a while. What can you tell us about the interview and how it came about? And is there any familiarity with both he and John Harbaugh?
So the interview is happening today. He did interview, I think it was virtually, for the offensive coordinator job that went to Matt Nagy. There is no common work experience between Brian Callahan, John Harbaugh, Matt Nagy, Greg Roman. So he's never worked with any of these people before. So it is a little off the beaten path familiarity wise. Doesn't mean it won't happen. John Harbaugh has done a good job of keeping most names under wraps. I'm sure this isn't the first QB's coach interview that there's been. Certainly a big name, so I'm sure his agent wants it out there. So here it is. It's out there. Do I think he has a chance to get the job? I do, because I don't think Harbaugh is one who only hires from his circle. Harbaugh's been a head coach for 18 years. Callahan's been in the league for a really long time. I'm sure they've run into each other at combines and other league meetings. They were both head coaches last year. So sure, there's a mutual respect there, but no, they have not worked together, and that always adds a new dynamic.
When you look at how this coaching staff is rounding out, especially on the offensive side of the ball, Matt Nagy's the OC, Greg Roman, who was previously the OC for Lamar Jackson, and Justin Herbert, he's on staff. Now they have a chance to add Callahan, another former OC and play caller. To me, it's looking like Harbaugh is getting Jackson Dart a lot of experience on the offensive coaching staff. Do you feel the same way?
Let me read you this list, Brandon. Peyton Manning, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Matthew Stafford, and Alex Smith. Those are the quarterbacks that Nagy, Callahan, and Roman have worked with. So if those end up being the top three quarterback advisors to Jackson Dart, how do you do better than Peyton Manning, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Matthew Stafford, and Alex Smith? I don't know how you do better than that. So he'd have coaches who've worked with every flavor in every scheme, success, success, success. I'm sure they'd all be able to be resources for Dart if Dart said, "Hey, I want to know how Mahomes did this." I would think Nagy could put him on the phone. I want to know how Justin Herbert did this. I'm sure Roman could put him on the phone. So yes, it seems like getting Jackson Dart experienced play callers and diversity of thinking with multiple heads in a huddle is a priority for John Harbaugh. And that's why John Harbaugh is one of the best, because he's willing to go outside the box. People want to work for him. John Harbaugh's maybe his number one strength as a head coach is staff building.
I was talking to someone before I hopped on, the Zoom with you, and they were saying like, okay, they love all the experience, they love, that list of quarterbacks, greats that you just named, but a lot of these guys are going to want their own input. So do you think there's a potential situation here where there could be a little bit too many cooks in the kitchen or too many OCs in the kitchen in this case?
Mhm. Yeah, I do think that's possible. Now, look, I don't know any of these three guys. I have to get to work on who their personalities are. I just got back from the Super Bowl. I have to start figuring out who these people are. All I can say is from my experience, I have worked in situations where coaching staff sound great until the actual personalities get together and you realize there's too many alphas or there's too many betas or one guy there's too many, it just doesn't work for whatever reason. One guy wants to step on one toes, one guy doesn't realize what his limitations are, one guy doesn't realize what one guy doesn't put the guy who's actually supposed to be in charge doesn't put the foot down, and then he gets walked over. I've seen it all. So I don't know these three personalities on the surface. Yeah, I would think three guys who have been high-level play callers, two of them are head coaches, don't have a relationship working together. I would say, yeah, that's certainly a possibility, but I think it depends on the individuals.
Yeah, I think they'll behave in this case because if you're looking at it, for all three of them, this is your path the easiest path to be a head coach again for some of these guys. Like you have Jackson Dart as a quarterback. If you have some success in the John Harbaugh system or team, you have success, you turn the Giants around, you're going to be attractive in this next head coaching cycle. So I really don't see, if Callahan signs here and becomes a quarterback's coach, I don't see and the Giants have success, I don't see all three of these coaches being on the staff next year, but we'll see. But now with all that coaching experience on the offensive side of the ball, from a media standpoint, who has more pressure on them to have Jackson Dart make a significant leap in year 2? The X's and O's, the coaches, or the Jimmy and Joes, Jackson Dart himself?
Good question. I would say for 2026, it'll be the coaches, because Dart was good enough as a rookie. It's a travesty, by the way, that he only got one first place Rookie of the Year vote. And that's coming from somebody who had a vote, didn't vote for him. I voted for him second, but wherever he finished, fourth or whatever, I mean, he should have been no lower than 2 or 3. So he was good enough as a rookie to that if he struggles in his second year, it's going to fall on the coaches. If he struggles in 2027, then it'll fall on him. But he'll get a pass in 2026 because he did enough as a rookie to say, hey, maybe we shouldn't have let go of Brian Dable and Mike Kafka. Like, it'll be enough to say, we know it's in there. Look, it took Daniel Jones 6 years before the Giants gave up on him because he was good as a rookie.
Interesting. All right, so Callahan has the interview today. Are there any more interviews or maybe potential hires we should be keeping an eye out for, even though John Harbaugh keeps everything close to the chest?
No, I to be honest, I don't know about quarterback interviews. I don't know. This is the first one we heard of. I'm sure more have happened. I think there's a chance he could get hired today, or there's a chance they could circle back. What you need to keep an eye on, honestly, is Charlie Bullen, the Giants' outside linebackers coach. I think there's a real shot he lands one of the DC jobs, either with the Browns or with the Cardinals. And then, good for him. He did a good job for the Giants. So that would be a promotion, and the Giants would have to start from scratch at outside linebackers coach. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on.
All right, Ryan Dunleavy, appreciate you hopping on with us.
Thanks for having me, Brandon.